From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Friday, January 6th. We're in for a typical chilly January day to end the work week. Some bits of sunshine will work in our area as highs get into the upper 30s to low 40s. As for the weekend, another system is set to slide toward our region for tomorrow, Saturday, with more wintry mix possible. Looks to stay to our south during the first half of tomorrow before we see some spotty sprinkles and flurries push north into the metro area. Changes of mixed precip will scoot into our Sunday as well. Highs expected to top out in the low 40s for both Saturday and Sunday. The father of a shooting victim sounds off about this week's gunfire outside Castleton Square Mall. He claims there is confusion over a car that led to the gunfire. Eddie Smith says his 21-year-old son was a mentor to 16-year-old Michael Mason Jr., and the pair were at the mall together Tuesday night. Smith says in the parking lot, Mason mistook another car for theirs, tried to open the door, and the driver fired, killing Mason and wounding Smith's son. Police have described the lead up to the shooting as a fight. Smith says that's not correct.
From inside the car, just unloaded on him and then got out, shot him some more while he was down, and then began to chase after my son. And when he caught my son had to crawl into a fetal position, a ball. Apparently, there is something going on with the guy. So I have had a chance to talk to the authorities, and there's something going on with him. And that's as much as they want to say now. But again, there was absolutely nothing, no ill intent, no ill will. There wasn't an altercation. This guy murdered a kid.
Police have not announced any arrests or revealed the name of the shooter. They have said that a person involved has cooperated with investigators. All three victims of homicides in Indianapolis so far this year are teenagers. We reached out to the mayor's office for a statement. It reads in part, the city of Indianapolis is working to address violence among youth through a combination of community-based grants that provide youth-focused programming and a gun violence reduction strategy that targets individuals at highest risk of experiencing gun violence. We encourage all residents to help Indianapolis youth, whether through mentorship, engagement with youth-serving organizations, or empowerment to use conflict resolution skills before reaching for a weapon. And today marks 2 years since the attack on the U.S. Capitol. The White House is set to mark the anniversary by holding a medal ceremony. President Joe Biden will award 12 people with the Presidential Citizens Medal for showing courage and selflessness. Honorees will include law enforcement officers, poll workers, and the Capitol police officer who died that day. Former D.C. police officer Michael Fanone spoke yesterday. He denounced political violence ahead of today's anniversary.
Tomorrow marks 2 years since the day I almost died defending the Capitol from people who thought overthrowing the government was a good idea. The events of that day felt like a wake-up call for me and many others that political violence is real. The worst part is that our elected leaders allowed this to happen.
Capitol Police are also increasing security today. CNN reports the department will have civil disturbance units on standby for protests at the Capitol and Supreme Court.
Honestly, I don't even mind. We can just put all names and let God decide and put a hat and just pick a person, because it's not about the person, it's about this institution.
The lone Congresswoman voting present, Indiana's Victoria Spartz, is sticking with her calls for negotiations as Republicans are left in disarray over electing a House Speaker. Today, the House will try once again after 11 failed votes, a political impasse not seen in a century. Glimmers of a deal to make GOP leader Kevin McCarthy House Speaker are beginning to emerge. McCarthy proposed several major concessions to the hardline conservatives opposing his turn at the gavel. The agreement centers around rules changes holdouts have sought for months, shrinking the power of the Speaker's office and giving rank-and-file lawmakers more influence in drafting and passing legislation. Unable to lock in their votes yesterday, McCarthy is now in the longest contest for the U.S. House speakership in 164 years. Spartz remains steadfast in her choice to vote present. She says the need for House Republicans to sit down and have meaningful conversation about the position is evident.
To come together, because we have to govern in Republicans and we have to make make a difference is known to each other. So if Kevin is able to get us, his small group talks is great. If not, we can go back as a conference and have these discussions. So I think it's important. And I truly believe we have some positive movement in having these talks, and we will come up with a speaker.
20 Republicans are refusing to back McCarthy. Even if he secures the votes, McCarthy will emerge as a weakened speaker, having given away some powers and under threat of being voted out. Still, he says he'll eventually get the gavel.
I'm not putting any timeline on it. I just think we've got some progress going on. We've got members talking. I think we've got a little movement, so we'll see. Look, this is a new thought we're going to have. We have a 5-seat majority. So it's not one side's going to get more than another. It's the entire conference is going to have to learn how to work together. So it's better that we go through this process right now so we can achieve the things we want to achieve for the American public, what our commitment was. So if this takes a little longer and it doesn't meet your deadline, that's okay, because it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And if we finish well, we'll be very successful.
The U.S. cannot swear in new members or kick off a new session of Congress until a speaker is elected. Members will return to the chamber at noon today to try again. The National Football League says Monday's Buffalo Bills-Cincinnati Bengals game will not be replayed. The league made the announcement yesterday. NFL officials say there is no need to make up the game since it won't impact which teams qualify for postseason. The league also says rescheduling the game would delay the start of the playoffs by a week. The decision comes after Damar Hamlin's injury on Monday night. And also it comes on the heels of some welcome good news about Hamlin. Doctors say he is awake and communicating with them and family with head nods and short notes. He can't talk because he's still using a breathing tube. They also say his lungs continue to heal and he's making steady progress. His physicians say the next big milestone for Hamlin is getting him to breathe on his own, then getting him home. They added, it's too early to determine if he can ever play football again.
It's been a long and difficult road for the last 3 days. He has been very sick and has made a fairly remarkable recovery and improvement to the point, as Tim noted, he is now demonstrating that sign of good neurologic recovery as well as overall clinical improvement, as has been previously reported, related to not just his vital signs, but a lot of his other individual organ recovery.
Doctors say he asked who won Monday night's game, and they told Hamlin that he won the game of life. To iTeammate and the growing frustration with overflowing dumpsters, Waste Management bought Race Trash Service in September. A local business and an apartment complex both told our iTeammate off camera that they've had issues with service ever since. In a statement to News 8, Waste Management said that it knew when it purchased Race that the truck fleet was not up to safety standards. Right now, the company says it's bringing in new trucks and equipment to service the Indianapolis area. It says all of the employees are also going through 2 weeks of safety training, and it says it will have all of the issues fixed for customers by February. The arrest affidavit in the University of Idaho murders gives far more details about the case than previously known. The accused killer, Brian Kohberger, appeared in court for the first time yesterday. He did not enter a plea. In the affidavit, investigators say Kohberger's DNA was on a knife sheath recovered at the crime scene. The document also spells out the account of one of the surviving roommates. She told investigators she heard crying and saw a man in a mask and black clothes walk past her toward a sliding glass door. The affidavit did not say if Kohberger knew the victims or a possible motive. He's now charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder. A judge ordered him to be held without bail. Today, Mecum Auction says it has a big addition coming to its 36th original Spring Classic here in Indianapolis, but we don't know what it is yet. Mecum says it will give all of the details in an announcement later this morning at 10 o'clock on YouTube and Facebook. The world's largest collector of cars only says a special offering is set to join the lineup. This year's auction is set for May 12th through the 20th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. To business headlines, Americans continue to spend big on pet pampering, and non-pet companies are eager to grab some of those cat and dog dollars. The Wall Street Journal reports Hilton is adding hundreds of pet-friendly hotels, while snack maker Cliff Bar has unveiled a line of jerky treats for pooches. Your boss will no longer be able to make you sign non-compete agreements if federal regulators have their way. Approximately 30 million workers are bound by the clauses, according to the FTC. The government says the agreements are a major drag on people who wish to change jobs in the same industry. Remote work could help support the housing markets of smaller towns. Economic Innovation Group analysis suggests newly popular locations in the Sun Belt and South are best equipped to build cheap housing. Also, it could drive down rents in bigger cities. Some split results for Purdue and IU in Big Ten matchups on the road last night. Purdue clinched a big win over Ohio State. The top-ranked Boilermakers were tasked with bouncing back from the team's first loss. The team trailed by 3 with less than a minute to go. Buckets from Zach Edey and Fletcher Loyal sealed the win 71-69. The Indiana Hoosiers found themselves on the other side of a 2-point game. Number 19 IU blew a 21-point lead against Iowa to give the Hawkeyes its first Big Ten win. IU may be limited in the paint now as Race Thompson left the game with a leg injury. And a new bobblehead honors Butler history. Tomorrow is National Bobblehead Day. The Hall of Fame and museum that honors and markets the souvenirs is unveiling a vintage design featuring a throwback Bulldog mascot. It's a limited edition and just one of many being unveiled throughout today and tomorrow. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.